Welcome to the channel. You're with Tanisha Ali, helping you to heal and clear energetic road blockages, up level your mindset so that you can manifest the glory of God that is within you, the glory of God that is you. Welcome to the channel today. It is another beautiful day today in the neighborhood. I hope that you are feeling peaceful, prosperous, and productive. I am Tanisha Ali. For those of you who are new to the channel, I'm so glad that you chose me today to usher alongside you as maybe a facilitator rather than a sage on stage, but just someone to help bring certain things to your awareness that are also coming to mind, because we are on this journey together. And I am also a butterfly in transformation, just like you. If you're coming back again, that means that you find something interesting in this channel. I want to thank you. I appreciate you. I love you. There's some of you all out there that go hard for me. And I do want to do a shout out to many of you. All of you I am grateful for. But there are some of you who really routinely show love here on the channel. And I just want you to know that I never forget about you. And although we may be worlds apart in terms of distance, you guys are close to my heart, and I really value what YouTube has allowed me to cultivate over the years with this and a few of the other channels that I have. But this, as you know, is my favorite channel. Even though it is the one that has grown the slowest, this is my absolute favorite channel. All right. So I love all of y'all dearly. And I just want to mention a few names. Of course, the Felita64. This is one of my ride or dies. Felita, giving you a shout out here. I saw you on the other channel yesterday. Let's see. Lisa Bowie, I think you are a little new to the channel. Andrea Garcia, you have been here for some time, but you have made your presence known more frequently in the last several months. So I'm sending you love, loving on you. All right. Elaine Reed, shout out to Ain't No Stopping Us Now, honey. Ain't no stopping us now. Holly Covington, thank you for your comments on the channel. And there are a couple other people I see all the time. Elizabeth Maria. I just got to say thank you to you, Elizabeth Maria. And there's one other person I want to just make sure that I mention and get in here. So give me just a second. This person is a regular. All right. Shout out to Brian Appleton. So don't let me distract you. What you see me doing now is just taking some unsi that I made, which is a Somali incense, and putting it on a little charcoal so that I can smoke up the environment. I keep aromatherapy type things, tools or whatever, working in my environment. As much as I love color and high vibrations, the smell of a place reflects the vibe of a place. If you go into a place and it's moldy and wet and damp, the person is moldy and wet and damp. If you go into a place where there's darkness, there's heavy energy, the blinds are closed, there's no light, there's a stench, you're dealing with an individual who's dealing with something that's stuck in their life, okay? So this happens to be the type of unsi, although I use the one that I get from Dubai on the regular. The one that I make, I discredited for some years, and my dad had to remind me today, yours is just because it was a little more liquidy, it's just as effective, it smells the same. That's the one this weekend I started burning again, because since moving, I'm still unpacking and realizing where things are and moving things around. And that's the one that I smoked up the cabinets with, that after 2 days, I can still go into my bathroom and I smell it. So it holds the energy so much better. So moving right along, I just want to welcome you to the channel. Let's talk about today. We're talking about today who you are and your ability to manifest abundance in your life. Okay. It doesn't matter what your gender is or anything else, your race, your religion, your creed, or whatever else. Recognize, and the sooner that you recognize who you are and the power that you have to wield in this physical reality, the sooner you can get on track with what it is you came here to do, if you are feeling that pull, or the sooner you can get on track with what it is you're supposed to be figuring out so that you can do whatever it is that you came here to do. Or the sooner that you can live with abundance abundance of mind, abundance of peace of heart, abundance of openness, abundance in your spiritual journey, which when you're doing that, everything else is going to come to you. The financial abundance and rewards are going to come to you. Everything else that you want is going to come to you. The right people are going to come into your life. The loving relationship is going to come into your life. If you are feeling, and how do you know where you are in this journey? You can assess it by your level of contentment. Your level of contentment in your life is the best guide to where you are in your journey towards abundance or prosperity consciousness or affluence or relationship bliss and harmony or whatever. Wherever it is in your life that needs your attention, it's going to give off a vibration. If your leg is hurting, it's because there's something you need to do something you need to put your attention on in order to remedy that. If your heart is aching, there's a relationship or there's some other grief in your life in terms of emotional connection. If you have anxiety, there's something within your mental or your psychological or even your emotional aura that is calling your attention. So you look at your life and you do a quick inventory and an assessment of where you are in terms of moving towards a life of ease. That's really what it is about. We're not going to quantify this in terms of buying a house or getting a new car or getting that job or any of that, because at the end of the day, those are material trappings that are irrelevant. And for a lot of people, they hide who the person really is. It's something that we kind of hide behind. What I want to talk about today is the feeling inside of you that you want, that will allow everything else that you want to happen to just begin to happen in your life, which means you will live easier. You will live a life of greater ease. You will live a life with less stress and worry. You will live a life that is characterized more often by moments of deep and impactful reflection, by moments of quiet and calm and inner peace, and most importantly, contentment, which breeds and is the ingredient or the necessity for joy. It's the inner joy that we are born with, that we quickly become disconnected from, that we are really seeking. That joy is the perfect state of balance that you were born in, where you wanted for nothing, you needed anything, and there was nothing externally that was a necessity in terms of your pursuit in order to feel a certain way. That's what we want. When you get to that feeling first, everything else will come. Why is that? That's because it is that feeling that puts you directly in the path or in the same energy or at the same frequency as everything else is that is thriving in this universe. Okay? When you are in that state of perfect balance, perfect peace, perfect relaxation, perfect inward gratification, your outer world has no choice but to reflect that. You are abundance at your very core. You were born abundant. You are supposed to be living abundantly. To be living otherwise is actually a sin. Yes, it is, as far as I'm concerned. You can find that in the Bible. You can find that in the Quran. You can find that in the Torah. You can find that in any tradition you want to find it in. To be living in any other way except that which is your divine birthright, because you are a divine being, is out of accord with the natural state. The grass does not struggle to grow. It is plentiful. Okay? The trees are not in dire straits. The sun is not working against all of life in order to rise. The stars are not falling out of the sky. Everything that salutes its creator or is in perfect order is existing in this reality with ease. All right. So first, acknowledging that allows you to take personal responsibility for where you are in your life right now. Bar none. You can't blame anybody. You're abundant. You were born abundantly. If you're not feeling abundant, if you're not experiencing abundance, then you have to look at what is it that I need to do? Where is it that I need to take personal responsibility in my life? What habits do I need to leave behind? What people do I need to leave behind? What patterns and just things that are on autopilot, what cycles and things that I'm continuing to repeat do I need to just say, just stop? Just stop. Just stop. And when I say that, I mean it from the bottom of my heart. Until you stop going back to the things that aggravate you, stop going back or being a victim or being out of charge as it relates to the places that make you feel out of, like a fish out of water, until you stop working overtime and sacrificing your life source energy for the things that are not giving back to you, and till you stop pouring into that vessel that has a hole in it, you will continually repeat the same cycle over and over and over, because everything that is happening in your reality is being held in place by you, by what you are participating in, by what you believe in, by your fears, by your limitations, by the way you grew up and continue and persist to try and take those old ways and belief systems into your reality. And you keep creating the same thing over and over and over and over and over again. To live abundantly is to understand and learn the wisdoms from the lessons of life that come into your life to hone you and purge you from all that is heavy and will weigh you down. Living abundantly is about having your wings. It's about soaring. It's about valuing and loving yourself so much and really understanding who you are and what you deserve, that you do not allow trash to come into your life, and that you regularly recognize that dust accumulates, that dead cells fall off of us all day long, that our body recreates itself every 300 days, every organ within us, every tissue, every cell, everything is given to us anew, but it becomes the same old physical energetic manifestation based on the reality that we're holding in place through our thoughts, through our habits, through everything that is part of our auric field in terms of energy, information, and consciousness. That we really are in the driver's seat, and that until you recognize who you really are, and I promise you this, and it can take a lifetime for some of us, until you recognize who you really are, you can't really play the role you're supposed to play as the main player and character in your life, as the protagonist. You can't. You're ill-equipped. It's like going through a battle and having an arm tied behind your back and trying to fight a war with your secondary limb, with the hand that's not your dominant hand, and expecting to be able to survive. You're going to have injuries. You're going to fall. You're going to topple over. You're not going to be as strong. Other parts of your body are going to have to compensate for this arm here. There's a lot of work that we do in this lifetime that we have to do in order to get to a vibrational place whereby we can easily call in the things that we resonate with, and we can easily call in the highest level of what is possible in terms of potential for us to resonate with. And we can't do that by staying in the same place. We can't do that by not doing our inner work. We can't do it by blaming other people. I have to say this and I have to impress upon you that you are the main character in your movie, which means everything that you experience is a result of your conjurings. I don't care what it is. You cannot release your responsibility for your life and put it somewhere else and just sit under a tree and pray and think that everything is going to work. That is not what you were put here for. That is not what this physical reality is about. That's not what this experience is about. You are here to live your best life. You are here to make great sacrifices and strides in terms of reaching your highest pinnacle. And you cannot do that without pulling back the layers of victimization. You cannot do that without looking at the areas of your life where you have given up your autonomy and turned over your fate to something else outside of you. You cannot do that by living in fear. You cannot do that by being afraid to face the things that you have to face. You can't do that by having your head under a rock. You can't do that by sitting by hoping that somebody's going to ride in on a white horse and save you and take you off into the sunset. You can't do that wishing for the perfect man or woman to come into your life so you can be happy. Nobody's coming to save you, and nobody's coming into your life to make you happy. That is it. And if they come into your life while you're not happy, you're going to bring them misery, and they are going to bring you misery, because they are not what it is you really want. What you really want is that feeling of wholeness, What you really want is that sense of tranquility. What you really want is that sense of contentment. What you really want is to feel connected and to feel enough and to feel complete. And you get that sense of completion from going within, from within yourself. Okay, you get that sense of completion by slowing down and tapping in to spirit. You get that sense of completion through prayer and meditation, if that's your thing. You get that sense of completion through gratitude. But fundamentally, you get that sense of completion by being able to just sit and be and take stock of all of the wonder that is around you and looking at, from a critical space, all of the things that you have already created in your life and really being honest with yourself. That's really where you get it from. When I say being honest with yourself, what I'm talking about is being willing to take a look at the stuff that you've already created and not putting it off on anybody else. It doesn't matter. If you want a better life and there's something else that you want, go get it. There's nothing stopping you. If you want to fix what you have, fix it. I don't care if it's a relationship that you feel is broken. If you want that relationship and you feel that that's what's going to make you happy, then fix it. Fix yourself. By fixing yourself, fundamentally, this is the truth. You can fix any relationship you want. Because the problem is never the relationship. The problem is always us. Okay, that's really what it is. Now, we can decide how many mirrors we want to bring into our life and how many other relationships we want to have, but it's not going to change what the fundamental challenges are, which is the people in your life mirror you. The people in your life come into your life to show you more of who you are, more of the work that you need to do. People come into your life to show you what you're willing to accept, what you're not willing to accept. The people who are around you come into your life to give you a glimpse of how you are presenting and projecting into the world. The people who come into your life are a projection. And if you notice, you can pull people in and out of your reality in any way you want, at any time that you want. Just depends on what timeline decisions you're making. So what I want to try to say, and I hope that this is registering with you. Please leave me a comment if you're feeling what I'm saying and it's making sense. What I want to help you to realize is there's a lot that belies this nature of reality that escapes us. We feel as though we are in the world and that we are subject to certain rules and laws and external influences and so forth and so on. But the reality is that the world really is within us. And what it is that you are experiencing, you are creating from within you. This is why it's so important to be doing the work that you need to do internally to clean out your closet and to empty the trash and to sweep your side of the street on a regular basis. Because if you are busy still telling yourself the same old tired stories that you were telling yourself some years ago or some months ago or maybe 10 decades ago, or what happened when you were little, you have missed the boat. We are living in a frequency today where it is time to stop crying and blaming other people and to take personal responsibility for where you find yourself at in your life at this moment. This is so critical. All right. For those of us who want to take ownership over our reality and be able to manifest at higher levels, this is the baseline of where you come in. Now, if you still want to find cohort with people who are mourning, people who are blaming, people who are pointing to something that happened in the past and not willing to move forward, that's fine too. There's nothing wrong with that. I promise you that. And I'm not judging that. Okay, because there's a level and a reality at every level. Certain realities are embody certain thinking, certain chemical releases, certain interneural networks, certain physical manifestations in your reality. There's a match for every possible thing that you want. Any possible combination that you can conceive of, any potential is available to you at any given time. So if that's the path you want to go down that path, do the work or be in that space of reliving those narratives and continuing that healing. But you have to get to a point in your journey. If you want to get to higher levels, you have to get to the point where you are where the buck stops and you are in a constant state of raising your level of awareness and increasing the frequency and looking at your life from the standpoint of what am I going to create today? Because you are the creator. You have to stop churning the same stuff over and over and over every day and saying that you want something else in your life, but continuing to do the same things every day, continuing to feel the same way every day, continuing to say the same things every day, continuing to think the same things every day, and continuing to be the same person every single day. Okay, I think it was that quote by Einstein, and even Deepak Chopra says that you can't solve a problem at the level of the problem. You have to transcend the problem, which means you have to go to a higher level of awareness, which means you have to do something different, or you have to learn something more. You have to raise your vibrational frequency so that you can let in new energy, and energy is consciousness and information, right? So you have to increase the state of your mind. The state of your mind is what is responsible for how you interpret things and your level of reality. 2 people can experience, 50 people can experience the same thing, and they will have different ways that they react. They will have different ways that they relate the narrative of that experience, and they will have different ways and different outcomes that will arise in terms of opportunity from that experience. Okay, it's a matter of how you want to move through life. I want a larger slice of life. I want the best life I can possibly have with the knowledge that I've learned at this stage of the game. I wish I had gotten it much earlier, because it takes a lot of self-inventorying, self-assessing and evaluating, self-reproach. It takes a lot of things to get to a level of self-mastery, which I don't even think is possible necessarily, depending upon what you're talking about and depending upon how you want to define mastery. But to get to a level where you are striving towards self-mastery, you have to prune, okay? You can't allow the dead limbs on this plant. You see that yellow plant right here? You see this little, right here? This is going to die off. It's yellow. It can't get with the program. It doesn't have the life force energy that the rest of this plant has. Okay, this plant can live in a fairly, this plant has been able to survive in an environment that doesn't have every single thing that's perfect. This plant learns to morph and adjust to its environment, which is what you have to do. When you can't, you become like this. And either you get plucked off by life and you go bye-bye, or the energy or the level that can no longer sustain you gets rid of you. But the bottom line is you can't play the game anymore. You can't be at this level and be here. You have to prune, because you weigh everything else down around you, and the frequency that you're trying to be at you can't sustain at that frequency, because 2 things can't occupy the same space. There has to be a sense of oneness. So this here can't survive in this environment, because we're talking about 2 different frequencies. So if you want your life to move to the next level, you have to prune. You got to prune the people who have no business being in your life. You have to prune the situations that keep calling you back. You have to take everything out of your life so that you can make space for all the new stuff that's on its way to you, that's coming in, if it's a wish of yours. Okay? The universe, and I love to say this, is always expanding towards greater happiness, greater fulfillment, greater joy, greater everything. That's the way the universe works. Things are really always working out for us. They work out for us on a different timeline depending upon where we are and the work that we're putting in. So put the work in today into your life to live abundantly. Make the changes that you need to make. Cut off the heads of those things that have no business continuing in your life, because you continue to go back to the same things over and over and over again, expecting them to change when you have not changed. And as I mentioned going in, assess where you are on your journey towards abundance by the level of inner joy and contentment that you feel, which should then allow things to manifest very easily into your life. Your wish is my command. Ask and ye shall receive. There is nothing in this physical reality that I believe is off limits. I think it was Jesus, Isa, who actually said, or maybe it was Moses, you can have anything as far as your eyes can see or as far as your eyes can imagine. Okay, that's now for the knowledge level people, what that means is I can have anything that's in front of me that I can see. Okay, that is a very rudimentary application of that. But at higher levels, you understand that you can have anything that you can imagine, anything that you can think of, you can actually have. Well, that's a beautiful thought as well, but what influences what we can think of, and what we can think of is the same as a possibility, right? It's the same as a possibility. So what influences what you think is possible? What I might think is possible may be totally different than what you might think is possible, which is no doubt different than what somebody else thinks is possible. What you think is possible has to do with your frame of reference, your belief system, your paradigm, the things that you grow yourself with, the people that are part of the collective energy that you are tapped into all the time, the things that you pay attention to, the way that you pursue knowledge from the cradle to the grave, the environment that you're in on a day-to-day basis. Is it growth promoting? Is it stagnant? Is it actually causing you to regress? Is it not allowing you to grow? Is the home or the place where you live or the apartment where you spend your time, is it stifling? Are you complaining every day and wanting to get out but making excuses for why you can't, or not being willing to make the sacrifices and roll your sleeves up and do the things that you have to do to get the life that you deserve? Whatever it is in your life today that's limiting you from being in your full capacity, which is only the capacity that you can perceive at this particular time as a want or a desire. Whatever it is that's keeping you from doing that, let it go. Turn over a new leaf today. Decide that you're going to do something different. Decide that you're going to be somebody different. Decide that there's no easy way out of this. I always say people want to go to heaven, but nobody wants to die. We are not angels, y'all, and this is not heaven. You came here for an experience. Whether you call it the Matrix, whether you think it's a simulation, whether you think this is heaven on earth, hell on earth, whatever it is, you came here to do some work. So might as well do the work. Might as well accept that this experience from a humanistic point of view, or a human perspective, is not going to be a bed of roses at all times, but that has everything to do with your perception and how you are moving through life. And we are all challenged to move through this experience as best as we can with the tools that we were given. And you have the tool. You are the best tool that you have. So let's get busy. Let's roll up these sleeves and let's saddle up. I love y'all. I hope that you have a beautiful rest of your day. I do want to pull an oracle card and see what we get today for my beautiful butterflies. What message wants to come out today to greet you. If you like this video, do not forget to give it a thumbs up. If you were able to make it around to the end, please say I made it to the end in the comment section. You are appreciated. Missed y'all over the last few weeks. And by the way, I'm doing a water fast for the next 3 days. This is my first day. And it's about 6 or something now. Yeah, it's about 6. So it's been a breeze so far, but maybe that's because, well, I grooved the last few days. My daughter was here visiting me. But maybe that's because I've been doing intermittent fasting off and on. But the first day usually is always pretty easy anyway. The second day is a little rough. The third day is heaven. So as long as my glucose levels don't fall below a certain point, which I can tend to have happen sometimes depending upon what's going on with me, then I'll make it to the 3 days and I'll get that wonderful autophagy that you hear so much about. I will get the cellular spring cleaning that my body is so hungry for, a rebirth. These two fell out as well. We have judgment and sensuality. The card here is a rebirth, okay? And what is a rebirth? How do we get a rebirth? A rebirth is a renewal. It's a coming up from, rising from the ashes. It's the phoenix. It's being born all over again. It's spiritual renewal. It's starting again. It's putting the past behind us. It's closing out all old cycles. All right. It's preparing for the spring, letting go of the old, bringing in the new. But what does the rebirth require? What I just said, letting go of the old so that the new can come in. Life is fluent. And the only constant about life is that there is nothing but change. Change is a factor of life, and it is the only thing that is constant about life. Nothing else is constant. And that constant says that new energy, life is alive. Life is an animated process, and you are in this process. You are life in and of itself, in and of yourself. And so you're constantly moving. Things are constantly, the body is, how many times a day you go to the bathroom? How many times a day you putting something in here that needs to come out, that needs to be excrement, that needs to be extricated, so to speak, which means that because of new things are always coming in and old things are always going out, don't be afraid to turn your back on certain things. Don't be afraid to let something go in your life because you are fearful that something else is not already lined up. Something else is always lined up. There are a million doors to this reality waiting for you to open up one of them. And you can open up any door you want, but you can't open up a new door truly until you close the other one. So let it close out. Let it close out. Let it close out. Let it go close out. It's do or die time, y'all. It's time to make that decision. Okay, give yourself some pleasure. If you haven't done that over the last few days, that sensuality card, feel on yourself, smell good, surround yourself with beauty. You look beautiful. Take in the colors. Change the color of your room. Put up some new curtains. Go outside and pick some flowers. Sit in a chair on the back of your patio or on a porch, or sit out under the grass under a tree and be grateful and look at the beauty and all the diversity that exists. Surround yourself with as much beauty as you can. Take a nice spiritual bath. Okay, write a beautiful letter, do some artwork, whatever it is that allows you to taste life, to smell life, to feel alive, to listen to the melody of life, and to see beauty, and to experience beauty, and to be beauty. Do it. Bye. I am Melanin Magic. If you want long locks,
luscious hair, radiant skin, want to look and feel good,
then I Am Melanin Magic is your brand.
I Am Melanin Magic, and so are you. If you are not using Melanin Magic hair oil, then what are you using?
Hi, I'm the creator of the I Am Melanin Magic skin and hair care brand. The I Am Melanin Magic hair oil is our premier product. It is the leading high-end supplement for your mane.
It reduces breakage and promotes growth and can be used on all hair types and looks, from straightened hair and micro locks to wigs and protective styles.
It's antifungal, antibacterial, and it's anti-funk, so you know you're protected.
It softens and conditions your hair, and it's anti-frizz too.
Hey guys, so I started using this oil called I Am Melanin Magic since February of this year, and check out the new growth. Like, it's insane. Not only did it help with my new growth, but it smells amazing too.
See the dramatic improvements Denisha has made after not having hair around her edges for 3 years. Tanya's hair had been like this for almost 20 years, and while getting injections. Her doctor said it was scarred and would never grow back. After 4 weeks of using I Am Melanin Magic, this is what she looked like. I Am Melanin Magic did this to Danette's hair after a short time. This is really all your hair needs. It's rich with antioxidants, loaded with growth-promoting ingredients. Look at the growth of my hair. It's amazing. The product speaks for itself. Order yours today and don't delay. Don't delay. Purchase yours today.
I Am Melanin Magic, and so are you.